or their third overall pick rather, to take Anna Bright at the number 5 slot. And then Rachel Rohrabacher, as Cameron mentioned, was the steal of the draft for Premier Level. What jumps out to you about this duo?
Here we go, ladies.
That's right.
Game one.
Anna Bright, I mean, I'll tell you what. Team format is made from her. She has all the energy, the positive energy. You can see her jumping around all over the place before this one gets started. So makes a lot of sense that the Squeeze built their squad around her, and they built it very well around her.
0-0.
Such a well-balanced team.
Rohrabacher was her choice in the 4th round. She's the first server as well.
Traditionally likes to play the left side, but in this duo right now, she's starting on the right. I wouldn't be shocked at times to see these two switch sides.
Side out.
Just wanted to note how important doubles play is in this matchup. These teams were in the same pool. They went to a dream breaker in the Squeeze one 21-9, which is a very lopsided score.
Here's Rachel Rohrabacher, former SEC champ for the University of South Carolina in tennis.
And you can see why. Just the amount of power she has on that forehand side. She does a really nice job kind of shading towards the middle to be able to open up some counters on the forehand. Just a beautiful rolling dink from Rachel Rohrabacher. You're already seeing all 4 of these athletes test just about every single shot in terms of their dink ability on both sides of the net.
Jessie Irvin on the left, playing dominant.
Yeah, but that's a sweet save from Schneemann right here. It's so funny because she's actually one to play with a little bit of verticality. She's a little bit smaller in stature, but gets up nice and high.
Scramble for Jessie Irvin.
Tricky situation as Schneemann was coming over to pick that off. And yeah, fancy footwork. We'll give it to her for Jessie Irvin. Awkward spot.
Pressure at the kitchen from Anna Bright.
But you did just see something that's a little intriguing on the side of the slice. More often than not, people try and create on their forehand side, but because Lacey Schneemann has really good power and ability on that backhand flick, she can also create some offense reaching in even from the right.
And then the inside forehand there. And they switched. Jessie and Lacey haven't always played in this court positioning with Jessie on the left and Lacey Schneemann on the right.
4-4.
From Atlanta to this event. Would love to know, Adam, your thoughts on Schneemann on the right after this point.
Yes, so I think that Lacey Schneemann can create the offense on the backhand side like Cam talked about, but I do believe that is her weaker dink. So putting her on the right can protect that backhand dink and allow her to still be able to use the offense on both forehand and backhand.
And one of the other elements, too, that allows for that switch to take place is Jessie Irvin, just so consistent in a lot of her dinks. She really likes that backhand slice, and she could do some damage with some offense even in that regard.
Lets it fly.
Yeah, she definitely sails that one long, obviously, but I like the reach in on the forehand side from Schneemann. I hope that that miss doesn't cause her to play more passively, as her being aggressive and going for her shots is a huge part of her game.
Squeeze on top by 2.
And this is what I love to see. Just when you kind of trust your own game enough to take these massive lunging steps forward and trust your own hands. We just saw that from Rohrabacher.
Irvin thought she had it down the line, had a good look at it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a smaller margin for error. Just look at where Jessie Irvin's court position is right now. To be able to keep that up the line, even utilizing that backhand, is really tough. But her target is going to be Rohrabacher.
Oh, an attack from Anna Bright to Jessie Irvin. Not thrilled about that.
Yeah, you don't see a tag from a third shot drive too often. Jessie Irvin maybe looking to the middle of the court to protect Schneemann moving forward, but either way, catching one right in the hip.
Oh, inside out deception from Jessie Irvin on the dink.
Yeah, really nice lateral move from Jessie Irvin to be able to come back towards the middle, recognize the court position of Anna Bright. She thought she was going to speed that ball up the line, but instead goes with the counter dink.
Miss into the net. Brings the slice within 2.
Yeah, Rohrabacher kind of tight to the line, thinking she could take that out of the air. Once that was not an option, a little late getting back and getting her balance underneath her.
Schneemann showing off that offense.
And Schneemann started that entire series by actually a little bit of a drive and drop combo to get up to the kitchen line. But you can see just how challenging this is going to be for Jessie Irvin. She plays off the kitchen line. You can see it right there. So to be able to redirect some of those speed ups back up the line is going to put her in some awkward paddle positions.
Finishes.
And that's why you have to be so wary of any of those cross-court battles for Jessie Irvin in terms of counter-punching back cross-court, because Anna Bright's forehand, I mean, she's just waiting in the wake to be able to have more of an impact in those hands battles.
Pressure there from Jessie Irvin.
Yeah, a nice shot there from Jessie Irvin, almost painting the baseline. And once all 4 players get to the kitchen, a lot of the Jessie Irvin backhand dinks are going to the middle. She prefers to go cross court, but I think she's avoiding that two-handed backhand of Anna Bright.
Rohrabacher whips it wide. It's a tie game at 10. Change ends at 11. Rally scoring games to 21. Win by 2 and win on your serve. It's a rematch out of group play. Both teams came out of Group A. Rohrabacher and Anna Bright took them down 21-15 earlier in the tournament. To speed it up on the backhand, and a bit ambitious choice.
1 minute.
And that was one of the first looks that she had. Adam just mentioned it. They were trying to kind of avoid that backhand side. That's one of the best backhands you'll see on the women's game in terms of her ability to locate as well as speed up with that two-hand backhand.
Chicago steals a 1-point lead on the end change, and we will step aside for just a moment too. The Chicago Slice looking to reverse the script.
11-10.
Coming out of group play with Orlando. Lost in a dream breaker earlier this tournament to the Squeeze, and that's a nice find from Anna Bright down the middle.
And I think that is probably one of the small pitfalls with having Jessie Irvin over it on the left, is covering that ball in the middle. Not one of the best lateral movers out there, even though she makes up with it in many other ways.
Rachel Rohrbacher throwing in a couple of whips at point.
I'm just telling you, I would not want to be on the other side of a Rachel Rohrbacher, just in terms of her ability to really loosen her arm, and she swings fully. She's not taking anything off that pickleball.
Miss JTP from Anna Bright. Throws her head back. She knew she could get it.
Yeah, just to touch on what Cameron said, that loose arm of Rohrbacher, but the rotational power, the strength that she gets from her core and her hips is, I might even say, second to none.
And it's interesting. Watch the way Lacey Schneemann is kind of countering these forehand rolls from Rohrbacher. She likes to short hop them, not let them get away from her, but that's still more of a defensive dink. And you can almost see a little bit of a sigh of relief on the side of Jessie Irvin for the second time, because she's come up with some really phenomenal saves and some points going their direction when they've been put in a tough spot.
And let's be clear, these last handful of points, there's been a lot of balls going to the way of Rohrbacher. It is not easy as the other player on that team. When you're getting slightly iced out, you get one coming to you after a while. We saw a bad decision on an attack and then a missed dink now from Anna Bright.
Line for Schneemann.
Well, that time she was able to execute, coming over, taking that ball off the bounce. I love the location as well, going right at the belly button of Lacey Schneemann.
14-14.
And it's interesting. They have looked more to the backhand side of Rachel Rohrbacher, almost baiting her into some of those speed ups. And finally, she saw one that she thought she could go for, but there was a slight hesitancy on her entire stroke.
Got out. Point. 15.
Nice return from Anna Bright, jamming up Lacey Schneemann, who goes into the net with her third.
Yeah, they had a little chat about it. They'll get that middle situated in the back of the court.
Strikes one through the middle, and we are thrilled now to welcome in our Tennis Channel audience. You're watching the second semifinal matchup of the day here at MLP Dallas by Margaritaville. The Orlando Squeeze, the defending champs from Atlanta, on top by one over the Chicago Slice. Rohrbacher packs a powerful punch, the former tennis player out of the University of South Carolina, getting the crowd on their feet.
I mean, again, watch this. Just the amount of trunk rotation, to your point. The loose arm. I mean, that thing is coming in so hot. You almost just want to duck out of the way.
Might be a good play.
Cameron Irwin, Adam Stone, Michelle McMahon here in the booth with you. Cameron Blackwood on the sideline. with such precision at the kitchen.
Timeout, Chicago.
This is one of the best skills from Anna Bright. I just love watching how compact her strokes are up at the kitchen. She's one of the best in terms of her recovery from a hands battle, in terms of the combinations that you'll see from her from the forehand to the backhand side. Her ability to recoil so fast is next level.
The Orlando Squeeze on top by 3. A win here in women's doubles will be huge. I'm Michelle McMahon alongside my analysts here today, Cameron Irwin and Adam Stone. Current female pro Cameron Blackwood joining us on the sideline. And so far, Adam, you mentioned this was almost a must-win situation for the Chicago Slice, because if things go to that Dream Breaker singles format in 5, it is best 3 out of 5. When you have Ben Johns waiting in the wings, it is feeling like a must-win for Chicago.
That's right, and these Dream Breakers are so tight, back and forth, really hard to get extended runs and singles. But as I mentioned, that 21-9 final line of the Dream Breaker, doubles, so important.
Here's a look at the draw to this point. We saw the earlier semifinal matchup, the DC Pickleball team taking out the Brooklyn Aces. DC had a bye, as did Orlando. Both teams unbeaten to this point. The Chicago Slice, a unique journey to the quarterfinals, just 1 and 2 in group play. They were in the same group as the Orlando Squeeze. It was what Adam called the group of death, Group A. And I guess it wouldn't be a championship Sunday if we didn't have Ben Johns. Back to MLP Dallas by Margaritaville. We apologize for our technical difficulties. Took a power hit on site here, but the Orlando Squeeze finished out the women's doubles match, or game rather. It was a 21-15 finish for Anna Bright and Rachel Rohrabacher. Now we move on to the men's doubles portion of the match. This is a rematch from group play, as I mentioned. Andre Daescu and Zane Navratil took down Ben Johns and Eric Lang by a score of 21-18 in that one. And a rematch, you know Ben Johns is motivated as ever today.
That's right, and this is not a mathematical must-win, as you need 3 game wins to win the match. But if the Chicago Slice do not win this men's doubles match, the only pathway to victory is through a Dream Breaker, and that is a tall task against this Orlando Squeeze squad. That's
the best player in the world, Ben Johns, the #1 overall pick in the first round. There's Zane Navratil, some thinking he was a steal in the 3rd round when he was still available for the Orlando Squeeze. 27 years old, based out of Austin, Texas. Has a wicked serve to his name, and he's also a 2-time MLP champ.
It's going to be interesting, too, to watch the head-to-head battle between Eric Lang, who's now on screen, versus Andre Daescu up the line. These are 2 of our taller athletes with some of the greatest reach that you will see into the kitchen. Now, they're different roles for sure, as Andre Daescu will look to be a little bit more of the aggressor in that partnership alongside Zane Navratil. He's on the left side and utilizing that length. But for Eric Lang, he's in a tough spot. As much as you have the top player sitting next to you, you also have to play the setup man.
0-0.
Mike Bumgarner, our lead referee for this one.
Point.
Into the net goes Ben Johns. You don't see those too often.
Yeah, and when he comes over to protect the left foot of Eric Lang, he's often going to pull that ball back cross court. Just caught the tape on that one.
Patient point to start.
And if you were to ask me about lobs in this matchup, I would say they were very far and few between that you would see one. But Eric Lang just tried to lob over a 10-story building, and Andre Daescu on the other side. You have to be wary of that height in that regard.
Yeah, Certainly not a sustainable strategy to lob the tall guys, but let's be clear also, if you're playing properly as a tall person, you are looking to reach into the kitchen and you have your balance forward, so it's not necessarily a no in that situation.
Reaches in right on cue.
I mean, that is just a beautiful shot from Dansky. So controlled, really nice one-hand backhand flick, reaching in, great control in terms of the tempo of contact.
And that's a big put away from the big man, Eric Lang, picked up in the 4th round for Chicago.
That's right. Length to reach in the kitchen, fantastic, but also the whip and leverage you get on the put away power is just as important.
Dansky asking if it hit Eric Lang on its way out of bounds.
He just can't get out of the way fast enough. He hit that with full force, and he was not aiming for the court. He was aiming for Lang.
Here we go. 4-2.
Navratil had it lined up.
I tell you what, Andre Daescu, I love to talk about this. Big man, soft hands. I mean, unbelievable resets from the mid-court and the back of the court from Romanian Tower 1.
I was going to say, it looks like you've been doing some yoga, too, because to be able to touch those toes is not the easiest thing for that man.
4-4.
Former tennis pro, played in the 2015 U.S. Open, Daescu. Beats him with the hands.
That's an outstanding point from Daescu. That's understanding the scouting report. He was able to flip his paddle to the right location to be able to counter that first speed up from Ben Johns. Beautiful combination after the initial speed up from Johns.
Right out. 0.5.
This third shot from Zane Navratil. He has a pretty quality one, especially on the forehand side with topspin. He'll get it cleaned up. That's the one right there. So many easy things about playing with Ben Johns. That's the tough one right there. He is going to pump fake you because he's always looking to be aggressive. You just have to weather it.
Got out.
And his third from Zane Navratil.
6-6.
Buries it between the legs of Eric Lang.
And that's the second time they tried to go over the top of Daescu, and you can see why. Really nice job from him. Backing up, still able to hit that overhead. He comes from tennis, so an overhead is not a scary thing for him.
Long for Ben Johns.
Word on the street, too, is he hit his first serve about 135 miles an hour. So that man can whip through the ball. Let's be clear.
For Lang and a 3-point cushion for the Orlando Squeeze.
You know, it's funny because so many people that have come from the tennis world don't necessarily understand how fast this pickleball can travel, but recently they've been clocking some of the underhand serves of tennis or of pickleball pros, and they're ranging between 50 and 60 miles per hour. Am I wrong?
And when you pair that with the proximity and how close these athletes are to each other, you better have some pretty dang good hand-eye coordination and reaction speed.
It's like less than 0.4 of a second, kitchen line to kitchen line.
Zane, that's really the big difference right now. 3 of those now from Zane. He's played incredibly in other aspects, but he has got to get his team to the kitchen.
7-10.
Orlando squeeze the first to 11 on the end. 11-7. The defending champs are looking for more. They could go up 2-0 on the Chicago Slice. We'll be back with more. Lead for the Orlando Squeeze. Michelle McMahon, Cameron Irwin, and Adam Stone in the booth bringing you the coverage. And Andre Dansky will be back to serve the lob. So far not working on the big man at the kitchen.
Side out. Point 8.
Nice shot from Eric Lang. And yes, Ben John's big game planner, so pushing Daescu off of line with lobs is definitely a point of emphasis, but 0 for 3. Let's see if they continue to try.
Side out.
In the net goes Ben John. Some uncharacteristic errors on his side. A 12-8 lead for Orlando.
12-8.
Orlando on top of their biggest lead so far of the game. As we check in now, Cameron Blackwood is standing by with the fiery Anna Bright.
13-8.
Yeah, fire just that, Mish. I know you're focused here on the men's, but take you back to the women's. You guys beat them 15-21 yesterday as well as today. What was the key to success against a strong Slice team?
Oh, well, they really changed their strategy from last time. They actually switched sides, which wasn't unexpected after we saw them do that against Miami. And I thought they were dinking exceptionally well, which is kind of why it was so close. I was kind of surprised, like we wanted to pull, but we just weren't getting opportunities. But then at the end, we made an adjustment, and that kind of carried us to the finish line.
Thanks, Anna. Keep you locked in. Mish, back to you.
Yeah, she's like, get away from me. I need to watch the match. Great stuff, Cameron. And we appreciate Anna stepping in midpoint. And John reaches in and grabs one on Daescu.
It's also really fun, too, to just watch Anna Bright on the sidelines. As much as she was doing that interview, she was still locked in as well on her teammates, providing energy. That's such a pivotal part to this Major League Pickleball format.
Side out.
More pressure from Dansky.
Right, and it's a great shot for Eric Lang, that backhand counter, but when he's 6 or 7 feet off of the kitchen line, it just ups the degree of difficulty so much.
Ben Johns. He is unable to really have much of an impact here, as Eric Lang has seen about 90% of the contacts.
Side out.
Big response from Eric Lang. Used to had not won a game up until the quarterfinals yesterday, as Adam pointed out at the beginning of the broadcast. It's got to be a tough role to play for Eric Lang, because Ben Johns has such high expectations, and you see, as Kevin said, so many.
Nice counterattack there. And yes, when you're playing with someone who just plays a standard left side, takes 55, 60% of the court, it's a pretty seamless transition partner to partner. This is not that situation, though.
Side out.
Navratil trying to take a shot in the transition zone. Usually you want to drive some of those third shots as if they're about 2 to 3 feet inside the baseline. That one was just a little bit further. He can create some spin, but that might have been a little too much power.
Teaming up to test the mobility of Lang.
Yeah, perfect spots. I mean, really spreading out Eric Lang all the way over to the middle of the court and then back short angle. Just perfect spots. Placement overpowered.
Timeout called by the Chicago Slice. A 17-12 lead for Orlando. This would be almost an identical start to the match as we saw in group play between these two. It was the mixed doubles teams for Chicago that evened out the match and forced a drink breaker.
Adam, I must ask you a question. Ben John's the new little look about him too here in Major League Pickleball. Have you noticed that?
What,
little facial hair.
Oh, the scruff. Yeah, you got to mix it up, you know?
Yeah.
Little smooth, little scruff, you know.
Different approach.
I thought you were talking about his look of frustration on his face, as we don't see that too often from him, but he knows the situation is dire after losing women's double and now a 5-point deficit in men's.
The ownership group for Chicago, too. We haven't talked about that yet today. Heidi Klum, Tom Ricketts, Lindsay Davenport, Tracy Austin, just to name a few. Chris Everett in the group as well. The Orlando Squeeze, owned by the DeVos family. Also own the Orlando Magic. They know how to run a professional sports franchise. Ryan DeVos, the GM that opted to build this team around Anna Bright. It is very clear that they are 100% cohesive as a unit, all on board as a team.
Yeah, so important as, you know, the physical edge is getting smaller and smaller. The skill sets of all these players are so close. So to have some, as you said, cohesion, kind of being locked in mentally on the same page is really, might seem minor, but that could really get you over the hump in these team matches.
Football called on Deescu, and we're just getting back to the point where the squeeze.
Football or not, that was some crazy soft touch from an awkward body position from Andre Deescu.
13-17.
Oh yeah, right. Pretty aggressive football there.
That's a great shot from Lang, finding the right hip of Deescu, kind of getting him jammed up. It looks like Eric Lang trying to get a little more aggressive with some of his shot selection, just in terms of kind of going for it on some of those speed ups.
Yeah, and it is tough for Eric to find that balance. His skill set isn't just rock like Colin Johns. He has to find a blend of consistent dinking and offense, and that is just not easy to do.
And Johns pulls within one. What a rip.
Yeah, just beautiful contact through the ground stroke on the forehand side, generating so much spin.
Side out. Point. 18.
Nice third shot drop opportunity from Eric Lang, and a tough time to do it. Orlando in the closing stretch. 3 points away from going up 2-0. Serve the let serves here in Major League Pickleball.
18-16.
Navratil switched to attack mode as soon as it caught the tape.
Yeah, but that's one of his best shots, right? The ball comes off the net, off the bounce, and he's able to really impart on that forehand side. Just misses right in the top of the tape.
ties it.
Oh my goodness, talk about point of the match, and why not end the point of a match with a Burt Ben Johns jumping in front of his partner Eric Lang and finishing the deal with a cross-court forehand. Let's go, Slice.
It's the Ben Johns effect on Championship Sunday. You knew he was going to lay it all on the line for the Slice here today in men's doubles.
Orlando is challenging that we missed the foot fault on the rally ending action. The score as it stands is 18-18. We will proceed to video review.
That's a good look at Mike Bumgarner, and the challenge from the Orlando Squeeze is that they missed a foot fault on that Burt that Adam just referenced on Ben Johns. Did you see a foot fault?
I did not, but I'll be honest, I wasn't looking particularly closely, Michelle. So
impressive.
Yes. Yes, but I wanted to mention that in MLP play, Ben has had a mix of winning and losing. In regular tour events, he wins uncontrollably. So if you think that mental factor for these players that have lost to him so much in regular tour events doesn't come in these crucial moments at 18-18, or we'll have to see about the video review, you're absolutely crazy. So Andre Deescu, Zane Navratil, incredible players, but they've done a good bit of losing to Ben Johns, and that is definitely in the back of their mind.
Here's the foot fault in question. Did he catch any? No.
Oh, way clean.
Purely athletic. As good as they come with. It's like he has eyes on his feet where he knows exactly where they are.
You know, back of the head, feet, whatever.
How does he know? I don't know. He just has that awareness.
Extra eye somewhere.
Somewhere. Ben Johns, so impressive. And to your point, one of the most fun of the Major League Pickleball format for the other players, to your point, is it evens out the playing field a little bit when Ben Johns isn't able to play with Colin Johns if he's not drafted with him. So here's the ultimate verdict from Mike.
After video review, there was no missed foot fault. As a result, Orlando has been charged with 1 free timeout. You have 2 remaining. Chicago Slice, you have 3 free video challenges remaining. We will resume play with Slice serving at 18-18, 15 seconds.
Translation, there was no missed foot fault. Ben Johns is just that good. Guess what that was just all about. Tie game, 18-all. This would be huge for the Slice to even it out.
18-18.
Heading into mixed doubles. Andre Deescu steps up in the biggest moment.
The Slice could just not get to the kitchen line. The most advantageous position is that up at the kitchen line. You can see why. Continuing to add the pace, utilize the depth of the court, and create issues for the Slice.
The angle.
Instant. Ben just walks off the court. As they call it out, he is challenging aggressively as he obviously saw it clearly, and the Slice, or the Squeeze, did not. I'm not even sure who hit that ball.
I don't know.
They clanked paddles in the middle. Eric Lang and Ben Johns. I'm not positive.
The out call on the court.
Ben Johns, but
as it stands, the score stands. We have Orlando serving
speculate.
at 20-18.
Okay, give us your thoughts.
Eagle eye, Adam says.
Eagle. Bring us the eagle eyes, Adam.
I haven't busted them out yet, so it's time.
And you see it
in.
Okay. In.
Yeah, I'll join you on that mark too, Adam. That to me looks like that could definitely be in. And plus, not to mention, Ben Johns is probably one of the best in terms of being generous with line calls, whether it's on his own side or on the opposite side. And he immediately assessed that this ball was inbound. So just from the amount of respect I have in terms of his ability to call those lines, I'm thinking that ball was probably in.
Yeah, and I agree. We'll say not every player has that reputation of being a good line caller, and I would put Ben in that group as one who makes very fair line calls.
This would be a crucial momentum swinging point. The Orlando Squeeze beat Ben Johns and Eric Lang earlier in the tournament by a score of 21-18. It was close, but ultimately they were able to pull away. Wait to hear the verdict. Good look at Ben Johns. put on his heroics. Here's Mike Bumgarner.
After video review, the ball was in. Challenge is overturned. Orlando, you have lost the second video challenge. You have one video challenge remaining. Chicago, you have all 3 video challenges remaining. Chicago will be serving at 19-19, 15 seconds.
Those challenges could be crucial. As Mike just mentioned, 3 challenges remain for Chicago, only 1 for Orlando. Still 2 games to go in mixed doubles.
19-19.
Didn't pull an early trigger. Really nice job from them trusting their dinks.
Game point
19
for Orlando. Finds the middle. They survive game 2 for a 2-0 lead on Ben Johns and the Chicago Slice. How are they able to dethrone Ben Johns in this men's doubles game?
Great job by the Squeeze staying focused. We talked about the Ben Johns Squeeze creeping back into the match after Squeeze had played so well early on. They refocus after the timeout/challenge and end up playing big those last few moments. Well done from them. They deserve it.
The Squeeze fans are out today. A 2-0 lead for the defending champs from Atlanta. They could close it out in 3. It all comes down to mixed doubles next. The defending champs, the Orlando Squeeze, looking to be crowned once more. Here in Dallas, they have one more game to secure another appearance in the final later on this afternoon. Let's check in now with Cameron Blackwood, who was with Zane Navratil and Andre Daescu after a thrilling win over Ben Johns.
Thanks, Mish. Yes, thrilling win. Like she was saying, you and Zane are just such a great, solid partnership. He said he had your back right there in a lot of the middle balls. What was the discussion you guys were having throughout that entire match?
I think we moved really well together. Zane definitely had my my back on a couple of those. I left it a little high on a few occasions, and he just came over and covered for me great, and that really freed me up to do my thing and play a lot of balls cross court and be able to find my spots, and just a lot of fun to be playing with Zane and get a W for the team, get us up to 2-0, but the job is not done. We're looking to get the next one.
And Zane, discipline was key. You guys really targeting Eric Lang on the other side with the dinks. Just how were you able to stay so calm there when you have been there wanting to bait you with those balls?
Yeah, I mean, we were moving together very well, like Andre said. We figured a couple things out from the last MLP, and we're moving better as a team and had a good strategy. And Dre was just on fire with the hands battles, and I think he might have missed a ball or two, like maybe 2. So that's going to be 200 push-ups tomorrow.
Squeeze, take the second one as well. Michelle, back to you.
High expectations, Zane Navratil. Thanks so much. And we move on now to mixed doubles. Again, this is a rematch from Group Play out of Group A. And I'm assuming that Chicago won the toss in the group play situation because it was the mixed doubles teams, both of them, that won the matchup against the Squeeze that forced a dream breaker. Ultimately, the Orlando Squeeze won. So Orlando Squeeze won the toss here, which means they got to react to whoever the Chicago Slice put out. Obviously, they're going to put out Ben Johns and Jesse Irvin first. That's their clear-cut #1 mixed doubles team, to which Orlando chose to counter with Rachel Rohrabacher and Zane Navratil, who earlier in the tournament lost to Eric and Lacey. So I'm assuming there was some strategy there in thinking to save your 1A team for last for Orlando?
Yes, that's true, Michelle. And also, they're Squeeze up 2-0, so Jesse and Ben have to win. So we have a 1A, 1B situation for the Squeeze, and we have 1B out there. So they're certainly not a sacrificial lamb, but they are putting their 1B team against Jesse and Ben. They're going to take a crack at winning that, of course, and they have a very good shot to do so, but they have their anchors, Andre Daescu and Anna Bright, against the B team of the Slice if this does not work out for them.
We're going to step aside for just a moment. Our first mixed doubles game upon us, and Rachel Rohrabacher and Zane Navratil hoping to take down Ben Johns and Jesse Irvin, who have not lost so far together in the tournament, and a 57% win percentage to show for it on the side of the Slice. You're watching the second semifinal here of the premier level of MLP Dallas by Margaritaville. MLP Atlanta saw the Orlando Squeeze take home the title. The Chicago Slice looking to change the narrative there. The DC Pickleball team already punching their ticket through to the finals. Could be a rematch of what we saw in Atlanta. Orlando just needs one game to secure their victory and moving on to the finals. And we have 2 mixed doubles games to go if we need to go that far. They could sweep it if they pull one here, but it seems to me like Ben Johns and Jesse Irvin have the clear upper hand in this matchup.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, you need to win a match to advance in the tournament, why not put out the team that has never lost? So makes a lot of sense. And on the other end of this, the Orlando Squeeze, they can play pretty free. Rohrabacher and Zane, they can go for their shots, they can release, spin, power, do all the things they need to do, and knowing that they have their anchor and Andre and Anna Bright to back them up if it doesn't work out.
I think one of the other elements too is going to be Jessie Irvin here. She's going to be a little bit more comfortable playing alongside Ben Johns and potentially Eric Lang, because she's kind of used to understanding the ebbs and flows, especially in mixed doubles with Ben kind of coming in and out. She's going to be that consistent force for him, and it'll be nice because she's going to be able to reset a lot of shots coming her way.
I mean, I said it yesterday, she's basically female Colin Johnson.
Yeah, she liked that, by the way, when you said that. I delivered the compliment for you.
Well, thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome. She was like, oh my goodness, that is so nice. Anyways, Rachel Rohrabacher hoping to reverse that script, and why not? You have nothing to lose. Her partner, Zane Navratil, and on the tournament, this mixed doubles team has gone 1-2 so far together.
Pretty legit, though, when your 1B team is Rachel Rohrabacher and Zane Navratil. My goodness, what a luxury for the Squeeze, as they have quite a bit of firepower in their paddles. And I expect them to get pretty hectic. Lots of speed ups off the bounce in a variety of situations. Of course, the calm, controlled structure of Ben Johns and Jessie Irvin.
Yeah, I think one of the other interesting elements is going to be Rohrabacher. She's going to have Ben Johns sitting in front of her in terms of all those speed ups coming her direction. She has been really clutch in a multitude of ways, as you now see the percentages back on screen, 57% for Johns and Irvin. But still, this is a massive task for Rachel Rohrabacher to have to face against Ben Johns. I mean, this is why he is so good, not just at all the disciplines, but especially mixed doubles.
Well, and as we learned in Atlanta, if there's any player that loves being in the highest pressured moments, Rachel Rohrabacher. She loves to rise to the occasion, especially when her back's against the wall. She'll be the first server here to Jessie Irvin.
Game 3, time in. 0-0.
Rachel Rohrabacher down the line on the two-handed backhand shot.
Well, and you can see Zane coming across, and watch for where these speed ups go. He's going to have to pull these back towards the line against Jessie Irvin. He does a brilliant job there as Rachel Rohrabacher cleans up the mess.
Side out. Point one.
That is really the most impressive part about Rachel Rohrabacher. High-end tennis player, has a lot of power and good topspin. Not shocking. The soft stuff, the blocking, the dinking. She's got it all at such an early stage of her career.
Point.
Wide that time for Rohrabacher.
Yeah, just a few missed dinks on the forehand side as she's continued to roll those. That's actually one of her better dinks, is that forehand roll. Watch for her to clean that up here.
ATP defended by Zane Navratil to win the point.
I mean, when was the last time you saw an ATP defense by the player on the opposite side, the left side? That's wild.
I formation. Oh, an impossible angle for Navratil. What just happened?
I mean, how often do you see Ben Johns on the string playing puppet master? Zane Navratil moving the ball around seamlessly to all the spots. Great control of the kitchen line from Zane Navratil.
You know, this is what playing free to me looks like. We've already seen Zane really show quite an expanse and array of shots, and even Rohrabacher throwing up a lob. They're really willing to play a creative style here.
ATP blasted by Ben Johns. Zane Navratil saying, get out of the way, I had it.
Yeah, the last one.
Right. And lob is, I wouldn't say it's a no-go, but you have to be careful because Jessie Irvin plays pretty far off of the line, so she's a tough player to lob.
Side out.
Rohrabacher going toe-to-toe with Ben.
Yeah, most females on that right side typically sit with a two-hand backhand, but I like how Rohrabacher easily able to stay a little bit more neutral and find the forehand on the counter.
Side out.
And that was important. Whenever I used to play Ben Johns with Deckel Bar, Deckel and I were basically playing mixed doubles with Deckel on the left and the right. So it was my responsibility to cover that right shoulder, and Deckel had to help me in the middle, and I think that's what Zane is giving Rachel Rohrabacher in that situation.
5-5.
Zane Navratil looking to go a little bit more aggressive from the baseline two-hand backhand. We really haven't seen him have to find that shot yet.
Side out.
Just pulling. I thought, no way she is going to go offensive with that shot, and she just whips through at the last moment, obviously catching me off guard and her opponents.
Rachel Rohrabacher.
And I said earlier in this tournament, I mean, she scores so many points from the transition zone because most people would reset in that situation, not Rachel Rohrabacher.
Oh my. Unfortunate bounce off the tape.
That's a special skill set from Zane to miss the ball twice.
7-7.
Zane Navratil hops the kitchen, gets the Ernie.
That's so tough on that ball to take it up the line with the backhand. Often when you see players earning from the left side with the backhand, they rip middle or cross court. Nice spot from Zane.
Oh my, Zane Navratil, have yourself a semifinal match.
But again, he gets ahead in that point because of the first location of that speed up, continuing to go right at the body of Jesse Irvin right here, and he gets that ball just high enough for another pop-up off the left hip of Ben Johns.
Unfortunate bounce off the tape. Orlando Squeeze will take it.
Very bad luck, and I'll tell you right now, Ben Johns is standing up pretty straight. He's not quite as locked in as what I've seen in this previous match. He has got to get it situated or this thing's going to be over.
Buried the corner. Zane Navratil found it again.
11-7, 1 minute.
It's just the forehand power from Rachel Rohrabacher. This is pretty impressive with the lead at the end change.
Orlando on top 11-7. We will change ends and get you back out to see if the underdogs can pull it out.
Tennis Channel's coverage of Major League Pickleball is brought to you in part by Margaritaville. Escape to your personal paradise. Stay, play, live, and dine in Margaritaville. By Knockaround Sunglasses, quality shades that won't break the bank. And by Toyota Prius. It's ace now.
Rachel Rohrabacher and Zane Navratil didn't have a chance, according to the numbers, in this matchup against Ben Johns and Jesse Irvin. Looking to prove themselves here, an 11-7 lead for the Orlando Squeeze, who could close it out in 3 and punch their ticket to the championship with another matchup against DC.
Point 8.
And we were talking about it in the break, just in terms of some strategy on the side of the Orlando Squeeze. Rohrabacher had missed a few forehand rolling dinks cross court. However, she has been really aggressive in some of those transition zone opportunities that has been a big factor as to why the Squeeze has the advantage here.
Well, angle from Zane Navratil.
Yeah, I think Ben just let it go out, and it did not go out.
Jesse Irvin with a beautiful setup with the inside-out roll. Well taken care of by partner Ben.
He would have been in big trouble, too, because he was still in the kitchen if that ball came over from Rohrabacher.
Zane Navratil, unbelievable. So shifty, so athletic.
Yeah, and that's a nice pull by him as Jesse Irvin off the kitchen line. I know she's comfortable there, but Zane trusting his hands on the next 2 or 3 shots with Jesse being so far back.
That is a rarity. Rachel Rohrabacher just pulled the trigger up the line against Ben Johns. It's not often you see him surprised by a shot, and he was completely surprised by that one.
It's almost like we're watching a rerun of Rachel Rohrabacher going toe-to-toe against Riley Newman in the finals of Atlanta. Did not shy away from the matchup. Doesn't care who's ahead of her. Goes for it.
She keeps playing like this, she's going to get another crack at Riley.
The Orlando Squeeze absolutely powering through the slice.
Yeah, great stuff from Zane Navratil, really rolling and stroking the ball with top spin, kind of around his hip and midsection level. And when it goes above the shoulders, he absolutely destroys it.
She's feeling it. Just short that time for Rachel Rohrabacher on the forehand. Jesse Irvin to back it up. 16. Down 6.
It's one of the first misses that we've really seen from Zane, and a difference there from Ben Johns. That shows the level of respect in this specific matchup. He goes away from dropping at the side of Rachel Rohrabacher. Missed return, so doubling down or the Chicago slice.
12-16.
Buries it down the line on Jesse.
I just feel like that initial speed up from Rohrabacher, often Ben is going to pick that off. He's not in the neighborhood, and Jesse had his back, but just interesting to see the movement patterns of Ben Johns.
Zane Navratil trying to be really tough to dig that second overhead out by Ben Johns, but again, just too much pop, too much power from the Johns paddle.
Side out. Point.
18-13. Orlando Squeeze.
18-13.
Into the net goes Irvin.
And right now, everything is working in favor of the Orlando Squeeze. Even if they missed a drive from the baseline on a previous ball, they are sticking with their playing free, playing up-tempo, and being the aggressor in this matchup.
Just back for Rohrabacher. She had it.
Yeah, you can't swing much bigger than she did on that one. You can't blame her, though. She's been so hot with that forehand.
Dropped inside the baseline. Rohrabacher has it all.
Clean lob winner, all 4 players at the kitchen. That is a rarity at the pro level.
Match point, Orlando Squeeze.
20-14.
Navratil wanted to close it on his panel to win by 2 and on your serve situation.
And Navratil just a hair late with that backhand. He had to try and take just a half lateral step to get back to the ball.
Ben Johns was there for the counter.
Yeah, and I get the idea of, mixing it up a little bit, but we have Jesse Irvin moving in and Ben Johns hanging out at the kitchen line. Thane just got to put that at the feet of Jesse.
Chicago slice survive another point. The onslaught of offense from the Squeeze.
Ben Johns just had an unbelievable touch back behind his body, chasing that dink, and his ability to reset that ball and get this point back to neutral is what made the biggest difference there.
Yeah, definitely a good time to take a timeout from the Squeeze as the slice just creeping back in this thing. They were firing on all cylinders just a moment or two ago, and now a couple errors and the slice picking up their game in these deciding moments.
Rachel Rohrabacher and Zane Navratil rising to the occasion in front of an incredible crowd here in Brookhaven Country Club. The pickleball fans are out today. Zane Navratil looking for another title. He has 3 to his name already. Orlando Squeeze team has already clinched 1 title this season in Atlanta. Point away, but they have to win it on their serve. Ben Johns looking on to be the hero. Down 3. Can he do it? Seen him in pressured situations before, why not?
Yeah, why not? Absolutely.
Time in. 17-20. Side out.
Yeah, that's really been impressive. Zane is keeping foot on gas. He is attacking off the bounce and out of the air with the one-handed backhand to Jesse Irvin. Even if it doesn't work, he is sticking with it, and I love it.
Match point for Orlando. Match point number 2 saved by Chicago.
Better ball
point game.
Better ball from Jesse right there, trying to get that down just low enough, right at the body of Zane. She did get a paddle on it. She almost got it back over the net. just behind the head of Zane Navratil. I mean, Ben Johns literally threw the book at them, and they still nearly came away with it.
Ball is long. Chicago ties it up 20-all.
They are not going to wiggle out of this one, are they? My goodness, Chicago slash 5 minutes ago looked like they had no shot to win this match, and we are knotted at 20.
20-15 at one point in favor of Orlando. Rachel Rohrabacher down the line.
Well, and the reason that's such a big counter is not just the score, but it's what it was. It was a two-hand backhand as Rachel Rohrabacher comes back in, squeezes middle just enough, sees the cross court. That is a big counter.
Those hands for Rohrabacher. Another match point. It's 21-20. Closes it out, 22-20. The squeeze, taken in 3.
Yes, well played by the squeeze. We talked about Andre in men's doubles. We talked about Rohrabacher in mixed. I'm talking about Zane Navratil. He played great throughout this match. Great play from Zane.
They have just every weapon at their necessity. So impressive. Every piece of this roster came to play, and it is really propelling this Orlando squeeze to potentially another championship.